Okay, my honeys, I'm recording this even before I've taken a shower because Spirit was downloading something. Wow. I mean, I've been getting downloads from Spirit constantly, but this one was like, pay attention. And the reason why I have the slide up from this recent reading that I did was because in one of the groups, I should have checked, I think it's group number 3. There was a warning to the people who were watching that group. And I suspect the people who needed to heed it heeded it. But somebody's ancestor is coming through right now. And they're because you may not be linking, or maybe you didn't hear that reading for group number 3. I believe it's group number 3, 2 or 3. But if you didn't heed that warning, your ancestors, there's somebody here, maybe a few somebodies, because this is big, this is huge. So, Spirit is saying here, you're about to unwittingly expose a circle of people. And I wrote down, I have several notes here from this download, you all, so just be patient with me. But what they're saying here is that you are about to be, you could be in two ways, you could be involved with this situation. One is you're on the right side, which is you're about to expose this group of people, or two, you're about to be on the wrong side. And you're about to go down with these people. Spirit is saying very carefully, you should not engage in any activities, especially in the year of 2024, that you suspect could possibly be construed as illegal. And they're saying this clearly because they said the energies of the universe are going to work against you. There are plenty times where the things that are being exposed in 2024, an 8 year, there's plenty of times in other universal energies where these things would never get exposed. But for whatever reason, this year, combined with the Saturn retrograde, combined with several other, I think there's a Neptune transit as well, you all need to be very, very careful. If you are concerned about your reputation, if you are concerned about your future, let me go to the, let me just make this what it needs to be. Because that was just referencing that. I mean, you don't have to go and listen to that reading, but I'm going to tell you it's connected. My guides are saying it's connected. And I guess here is where, when I receive downloads like this, I stop what I'm doing. I write it down. I was going to take a shower and Spirit's like, you go take a shower, you might forget some things we're saying. So I was all like, I'm not going to forget what you're saying. I wrote down the notes and other things will come through. If you are watching this recording, it's important for you on some level to hear this. It's not saying you're involved. It's not saying you will get involved, but it's important on some level for you to know this download, to hear it. So my guides have said that back in the day, they used to have something which I knew about too, called friends helping friends. Now, let me tell you a little bit about that thing. This was pre-internet. And what it was what people would call a pyramid scheme. And what would happen is that, everybody starts at the bottom of a pyramid. You could actually just picture an actual pyramid. And the pyramid has many layers to it, right? As you go up to the top, which is the pinnacle. So in friends helping friends, you would invest a certain amount of money. Everybody at the bottom would invest a certain amount of money to be involved in the the scheme. And as more people invest and came on the bottom, you would elevate until finally, when there was enough people investing at the bottom and you had moved up, when you reached that pinnacle position, you would get all of the money that had been invested in that pyramid at that time. So, if I didn't explain it right, you join, you're at the bottom, and every level that you move up, you would pay something, and you keep paying until you reach the pinnacle. The pinnacle can only hold one person. So when you're at the top, you don't pay anymore. You get all the money that all the levels below you have paid. Now, don't go out and try to do this. It's an old scam, y'all. And the reason why I'm going to say it's a scam, and you'll run into so many people who'll tell you, no, it's not a scam. My mom got this, my dad got this, my uncle got I'm going to tell you why it's a scam. It doesn't have a long shelf life. So at some point, there's just not any more people who are going to invest at the bottom. And what happens is eventually the people that you may have half of the bottom that's invested, and then you have other people who keep paying weekly because they're on the upper levels, right? And what begins to happen is there will be one final person that gets the payout, and everybody else below that person will never move. It's just the dynamics of the scheme. And there are plenty of people who lost money because you can imagine these things went anywhere from investing $5 to investing $5,000 or more. So you got to understand that some people lost a lot of money. And so it's important for you to understand, because Spirit gave me that example from back in the day, because I know some people who experienced that. And Spirit said, the new way they're doing this is now on social media. Now, has anyone approached me? No. So I'm telling you right now, this is a direct download from Spirit. And if you want to private message me, some kind of confirmation, you can let me know. But actually, I'm just giving you the message Spirit is giving me. So they used to call it friends helping friends. And since then, the practice has moved to social media. And it's presented as a group of followers who help other creators, good creators who become followers, who help and other followers. Something like that. Spirit didn't tell me how they kind of exactly explain it. But what they do is they search out the web, especially for up and coming creators. And, all these social media platforms are full of people trying to take their chance at creating, right? So they go and search, and they know who's a good possibility of who's got talent and who doesn't, who's doing things that could possibly get them more visibility and is getting them visibility, versus those who they kind of know now they're kind of real on some amateur stuff. So this group of people will search out creators. And, if they're looking like they're making momentum, they got some kind of talent or skill. I don't know. It could be across all kinds of content, y'all. But these people will then say, okay, I've identified these accounts, these profiles. And then as a group, they'll decide, yeah, why don't we as a group boost them up, enough for them to start to qualify for any kind of monetization. This is what Spirit is telling me. And so they will go and join in large groups. They will go and follow and join new accounts. And what this does is it creates a psychological um spirit is saying they create like a psychological, what is it? What's the word spirit's trying to give me? They create some kind of psychological attachment because the new creator is thinking, oh, I've got a lot of people who are interested in what I'm saying. They're commenting, they're loving your content. They're like literally, in some cases, love bombing your content. So that's the first step. They ain't approaching you yet. They're just liking you're liking your stuff, in a way that doesn't seem super suspicious, but in a way it does give the creator some kind of sense of like, oh, people love what I'm doing. Let me keep doing it. So, Spirit is saying here. But actually, what happens is that at some point, they will start to slightly reduce your followers. Like the group pulls back a little bit in a noticeable way. And in a noticeable way, the creator will become a little nervous, like, oh, I'm not getting so many views or likes or whatever. It's different across platforms, you all. And so then they will approach the creator and say, hey, and it might just be one person, one or two, one person who's like, oh, you know what? I really love your content. I really think this is an excellent brand new channel. I want to, I'm kind of doing stuff too to grow my own channel. Like it will be somebody who seems friendly, who seems kind, who seems like a genuine person that wants to be your online friend. And Spirit will say, oh, well, let me tell you about a group I'm a part of. And what we do is that we follow folks, follows for follows. And this group can really help you sustain, even boost. Because we all know the psychology of social media. Once you have a lot of followers, uh, everybody doesn't mind following you after that. They jump on the bandwagon. It's kind of like that, right? So this group will, present it as a very innocent thing. Like, hey, you follow us, you join this group and you participate and we follow you. It's one hand washes the other. Now it's presented that way, but here's what Spirit is saying. Many of these groups, because there may be more than one, y'all. I mean, Spirit is saying we're in late stage capitalism. And what you've got to understand about late stage capitalism, and if you've never heard about capitalism, you should research it. But Spirit is saying we're in the later stages of it. Because capitalism, in its own sense, is one big pyramid scheme, where the bottom of that pyramid is constantly working and striving. In some cases, just to be in the pyramid, right? If you outside the pyramid in a capitalist society, you houseless, you struggling with extreme poverty. But if you're on the pyramid scheme, you most likely at the very, 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 very bottom of it. And your hopes and your wishes are to get to the very top. So thank you, Spirit, for that one. But Spirit is saying here that these groups, they could operate on many different levels. Spirit is showing me these groups that you pay to get into this group. Now, some of them you don't pay to get into. Others of them you pay to get into. And for those who experience having to pay to be a part of these groups, then the thing that they thought they were going to come on these social media platforms to do, which was to free themselves from having to work a 9-to-5 or make a little extra money and monetize this, and having your own little dreams of creating influencer platform, they are saying right now, Spirit is saying right now, that you could see it in the eyes of some of these real popular creators. They've lost their spirit for creating. They're on here day and night creating content, sometimes at incredible rates. And that is because they've got to pay into this group. And it's kind of one of those things. You join this group, you have their support. If you leave this group, you lose their support. So you can imagine this group has the power to withdraw their support in droves. So say if there was 500 people in this group, they could all just collectively unsubscribe from you. That would make a difference in the algorithm. If there were 1,000 people in this group, the same. Even if there was 100 people in this group, the same. So in many ways, when you join these groups, Spirit is telling me, you become a slave to them. It's kind of like the thing you enter and you don't ever leave. And depending on what's driving you, depending on what goals and your purpose, you may think to yourself it's worthwhile. But Spirit keeps showing me a couple of creators. I'm not going to say who they are. But Spirit is showing me how they've lost the passion, the life for what they're doing. So, let's see what else Spirit was saying here. Spirit is also saying that these circles, some of them could include people that actually work for the social media company. So really be careful. Spirit is showing me, like, at all levels, you've got to understand people are out in these streets trying to make money. They're trying to do it the most easiest, fastest, way that they can in their mind. So here is the part that involves possibly you, because I'm making sure that I'm reading all the notes. Okay. So Spirit is saying the reason why because I said some people might be on the right side of this and some people might be on the wrong side of this. But Spirit is saying they're trying to speak to the progeny, because this is your ancestors now, because I'm hearing the word progeny. Your ancestors are coming through, whoever you are. And listen to this. They're saying you are very talented at what you do. You are so talented that the gifts that you have been given, they're ancestral. They and the reason why these gifts are even coming more online for you right now is because your ancestors want you to use this gift in service of not only your lineage, but humanity. And so when you come on here, wanting to give your gifts to the public, what's going to happen is these people are going to see how genuine you are. Not only genuine, but you are attracting people with what you are saying. And so, they're going to go through their regular motions with you. But you are the real one. And so what happens is they don't know. Spirit watches you. Your ancestors watch over you. So Spirit is like, wait, what? Your ancestors are like, wait, what? We got a plan for our progeny. We got a plan for them. So what is this? And immediately something happens that's a little out of pocket. And your ancestors are like, who is this? Because your ancestors are saying here, be careful. Do not be bought by these people. Do not be fooled by these people, because they already know you are the real one. And some of you are very, very, if I'm talking to someone who is a tarot reader, a psychic, a medium, Spirit is showing me there's a circle in this kind of, niche as well. And they're saying here that your vibe is not that of someone, of a follower. So something will happen when these people try to pull game on you. You already are seeing it. And so Spirit is saying they're going to attempt to just try to use, without you joining their circle, they're just going to attempt to try to um, uh, do something to your channel. Or your social media account, because I don't want to make it sound like it's just one platform. But the Spirit is saying that's interfering with Spirit's plan. And even though they can't do anything to interfere with Spirit's plan, Spirit just witnesses that and slaps it back. So in this sense, there's somebody out there that is going to get a whiff of these people. And the whiff is, it's coming because you are the real one. You are the real psychic. Now, what begins to happen is that these people have gotten out of control with their power. They believe they have the power to help people advance in this niche, or help people fail in this niche. And maybe at one point they did. But Spirit is pointing now, we are in a year of 2024, hun. And we got all kinds of astrological aspects happening out here. And on top of it, you got people working authentically and really with their ancestors, their spirit guides, and spirit itself. Come on now. How long do you think these people are going to progress? So the other warning is, someone else's ancestors are out here going, they see that you have struggled. They see that, it has been hard for you to make many things happen. But they want to give you a little boost and say, this is a time where you got to stay towards your morals, towards your values, towards your truth in anything, they're saying. Whether it's joining social media circles who are scheming, or something at work, or just how you relate to people. The ancestors are saying here, this is a time, because of just the energies that are out here, you need to be in integrity on all levels. Nothing is small out here when it comes to transgressions. Nothing is small out here. And so they're saying, here's what the outcome will be. And they said it is meant to kind of put some fear in folks. They said these social media, the platforms, because they said it's happening across a lot of different platforms. The platforms actually, they're saying, are aware of it. But they're investigating it right now. And you know how investigations go. They go quietly. That means that people are being observed. Accounts are being watched. Because in the company's eyes, of the owners of these different platforms, in their eyes, they are being robbed. People are getting monetized not off of actual, authentic followers. And they recognize it has become a big problem for them. That's why you'll see them resetting things ever so often. Because they're resetting the algorithm, not because it's being improved, because it's being corrupted. So Spirit is saying that when some of these circles go down, and I really think they're pointing to really big ones, like where people are paying into them, or, but when it goes down, not only are these creators going to lose their access to the platform altogether, they're going to lose their way of making money. But actually, Spirit is showing me some of these companies may end up suing people for their money back. I heard that one loud and clear. Because they're going to call it an unlawful ring system. Let me see if there's anything else Spirit wants me to share about that. They're just saying, be careful. Some of y'all, you just have never really, because maybe you're too young. That's why I think Spirit wanted me to mention friends helping friends, because for some people, they've never heard of all these schemes. It's brand new, and it's presented to young people a lot, because old folks will know. Oh no. I already know several family members who lost a lot of money at that. Like the older folks know. So it's presented to young people often because, and it's not even something I got to tell y'all that's even come up in my memory in the last 20 years. I'm all like, what? Because for me, in my mind, when people are experiencing that wasn't on the internet. So, what I'm saying here is that you've got to your ancestors are really wanting you to look at things with real eyes. If something is too good to be true, if something is presented like it's going to make you thousands and millions tomorrow, know it's too good to be true. Know that. And to also know that there's always someone who's benefiting at the very top. But when you're at the bottom, you're not benefiting. You're paying into a dream. You're paying into a fantasy, actually. And these people, they leech off of people's hopes and dreams. But Spirit is saying here, your ancestors are saying here, you have talent. You have real raw talent. And to not put yourself in a position where that talent gets compromised. All kinds of things, decisions can happen where you might be banned from all kinds of social media platforms because you're blacklisted, or, like the outcome, the risk, it doesn't outweigh the benefits. So that is what Spirit asked me to share. I'm not actually, I don't know if I'm going to put the comments on or not, but y'all need to know and be careful. Stay true to your gifts. I guess that's the last thing your ancestors are saying. Those gifts are valuable. They're sacred. They have followed you over lifetimes. And to realize it and then compromise it with some kinds of shenanigans like this, it could have you lose the power of those gifts. They're meant as a helper for you, but not in this way. Not in this way at all. So when I got done writing all my notes and receiving this download, guess what time it was? It was 11:11, y'all. So that's why I knew I had to I had to stop and just record it right now. And I'm glad I did, because Spirit's energy is still with me. Because sometimes I'll write it down and then I have to like really tap back into what Spirit was saying, which is not a problem. But right now they're hot on it. And I know when they get this way, I need to record it right away. So, take with it what you will. If you're not involved with any of this, then you're not involved. You don't need to comment. If you are involved with any of this, you don't need to comment either. You just need to course correct. But take it seriously. It's out here for someone. Okay, my honeys. Take care and all. see you on the next reading or the next download, however we're going to do this.